Hi and welcome back to my video recipe series where I'm baking something for the Greek gods and goddesses. This time I'm baking for another badass Olympic goddess, Athena. Athena is Zeus's daughter, and in the myths it's said that she was born right out of his forehead, making her primarily the goddess of wisdom and strategy, but she's also associated with art and handicraft, as well as the more glorious aspects of warfare, like the success and winning parts, and not so much the actual brutal and horrific sides of war. That's more Aries territory. She is also the patroness of Greece's capital city Athens, which she became by winning a competition against Poseidon, in which both of them were asked to give something meaningful to the city, and basically the better gift wins. Athena was said to have created the first olive tree, and so of course she wins. I mean, olives, olive oil. Sorry, Poseidon. And with that, we're already coming to my ideas and interpretation for this one, so let's have a look at my concept sketch. I obviously had to include olive oil for this one. That's why I went for an orange olive oil sponge cake with an overall greenish aesthetic. Oranges also are in a lot of traditional Greek recipes, which I found fitting as well. And also they do have that luscious, almost golden, and overall very pretty and luxurious look to them, which I think is also very fitting for a glorious and widely idolized goddess. Because of Athena's association with wisdom and her symbolic animal being the owl, I also felt like I had to bring the chocolate feathers back, which I initially made for my Hera video, but this time they would be all white and sleek looking. Lastly, I wanted to add some more of that golden traditional vibe, and I also just really wanted something crunchy here, taste-wise. So I planned to add some caramelized crunchies out of some crumbled phyllo sheets to the cake. And yeah, that basically was my idea for Athena. Now let's see how it all turned out, right? So we're starting out the day before with, you probably already guessed it, soaking the nuts for our frosting. This time I'm mixing pistachios and cashews so I'd get a bright green color. So you just want to place the nuts into a bowl, add some water and place them in the fridge overnight. Then we're going to prep our phyllo bits. For that, you want to grab 1 to 2 sheets of phyllo pastry, put them on a clean surface or baking tray and let them sit at room temperature until they start to dry out. Depending on the humidity of your home, this can take something between 1 to 2 hours, but if you notice that they just don't want to dry out even after those hours, you can also turn up your oven just the tiniest bit and place them in there for a few minutes. They should be so dry that you can crumble them somewhat like this. Also, this is probably the most satisfying part of the video, so enjoy this little ASMR here. To the crumbled phyllo, you now want to add a pinch of salt, cinnamon, and 40 to 50 grams of maple syrup. Then mix that up and transfer them to a baking tray. Make sure they're evenly spread out and bake them in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 to 12 minutes until golden brown. Let them cool and store them in an airtight container. Now we are also prepping the chocolate feathers, and for that you want to melt some vegan white chocolate together with some coconut oil and then drip some of that melted chocolate onto a tray lined with parchment paper, using a spoon and knife to create the feather shapes. Then let these cool in the fridge until the chocolate has hardened again. On the next day, we're starting off by baking our orange olive oil cake base. For that, preheat your oven to 180 degrees again and combine 250 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, cinnamon, vanilla, and 100 grams of coconut or regular sugar in a bowl. You then want to juice 1 orange and combine the juice, which should be about 80 grams, together with 80 grams of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and 120 grams of plant milk in a separate bowl. Oh, and if you want, you can also add some orange zest here. Then combine dry and wet ingredients, remember to not overmix, and bake the batter for about 40 to 45 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. Then let the cake cool down completely after baking. Meanwhile, you can mix up your frosting. For that, add your soaked nuts to a blender, add another 50 grams of orange juice, vanilla, 70 grams of maple syrup, as well as a few heaping tablespoons of unsweetened plant-based yogurt. Now blend that up until you get to a silky and smooth consistency. Oh, and you can also add some more optional orange zest in here too. Once the mix is smooth, add 30 grams of melted coconut oil, blend again and place in the fridge to harden. I also had some leftover orange juice, so I decided to make some orange syrup kind of thing by adding some maple syrup and cinnamon to it and cooking it up until it started to thicken and become somewhat syrupy. Quick checkup on our chocolate feathers, and if your cake base has cooled down by now, you can also start to prepare your cake decoration. I chopped up some more pistachios for that and cut another orange into very thin slices. Once the frosting has hardened, give it a quick whip and assemble all your toppings for the cake. So on top of the cake, I first added the frosting, of course. Then the orange slices, the phyllo bits, the pistachios, and lastly the chocolate feathers. You can also use some more phyllo bits to stabilize the feathers here. And no, of course, I am not skipping my favorite step, edible gold glitter. And here we are. That's Athena's cake done. Honestly, I loved this cake. I think it was not only relatively easy and stress-free to make, it also turned out to be the most luscious and fluffy sponge cake I ever made. Like, what? Also, the flavor combo of orange and olive oil is a trusted and well-loved thing in this house, and together with the pistachio cream, it was just beyond my expectations, no lie. I also tried to drizzle some of that orange syrup on top, but to be honest, the aesthetics were not really on point to say the least. But taste-wise, I also do approve this additional topping. Oh, and the crunch of the caramelized phyllo, a true texture wonderland. And yes, that concludes my recipe for Athena. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, here's my little random taste test for you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!